All eyes on the Corgi. The Indiana Fever shocked the Atlanta Dream in Game 3, sealing their first-round series and punching a ticket to the semifinals. And there's plenty to break down here, especially the big question everyone's asking. Could Caitlin Clark actually make a return? The reports are all over the place, but I've done some digging to get the real story, and I'll share that in this video. But let's start with the win itself. On paper, the Fever weren't supposed to be here, and yet the way they pulled it off was something special. Down 5 with just 2 minutes left, most teams fold. The Dream had an 84% chance of closing it out. It should have been done and dusted. But instead, the Fever showed pure toughness and nerves of steel. And honestly, after the season they've had, losing Caitlin, Sophie, Sydney, Aerie, and Chloe, just making it into the top 4 is incredible. This series win is massive, and you could feel how much it meant to the players from their reactions after the game. Now, fans have been frustrated with Stephanie White all year, especially with how she's handled Caitlin Clark's role. But to be fair, she deserves credit for one thing. Through all the chaos, she's kept this team locked in mentally and steady under pressure. And the results speak for themselves. Despite a lineup that's felt like a revolving door, they're headed to the semifinals. Kelsey Mitchell even shared some heartfelt words that give us a glimpse of the leadership and presence we don't always see behind the locker room doors.
Coach White has done a good job of talking about how much you guys mean to her. What does she mean to you? Maybe you as well.
Oh man, I've had 5 coaches in 8 years. I've been on, the worst, record teams here in Indiana Fever. So I know where my career started at. I know what I've kind of had to go through to kind of be in this position. I've never had a coach that poured into me respectfully like Steph has. I go where I'm valued, and I've never really felt that as a pro. And so for the first time in my career, I really feel like I have someone that values what I bring to the table as a player and a person. Not just a player, but as a person. So I always love Steph because she gave me an opportunity to kind of be who I am. And it's hard to do that and be that as a professional athlete. And when you find coaches that believe in you, I'll never take it for granted. So thank you, Coach.
Looking ahead, sure. There's been plenty to complain about this season and things that could have been handled better. But even with all that, some players stepped up big, and the locker room looks as tight as ever. Add Caitlin back into the mix next year, and it's hard not to see them as legit contenders. Now, right after the game, a few moments stood out that the rest of the league could really learn from. First, the Fever's admin wasted 0 time firing back at ESPN for unanimously picking them to lose. That's how it should be in sports. Prove it on the court, then clap back when it counts. Somebody should pass that memo to Alicia Gray, who had a fan tossed out just for some light heckling. Maybe Kleenex can sponsor her next season. And if you need one last reminder of this team's mentality, just watch how they handled being booed after the win. Better launch that hate speech investigation right away, Kathy. We can't possibly have fans rooting against the other team, right? Jokes aside, that's exactly how you deal with it. Recognize it's just a sport, and let the 352 people in the stands head home and cry into their pillows if they want. The Fever's response was spot on, and that's why they've earned so much praise for handling it the right way.
Caitlin Clark showing you guys how to interact with the fans. You don't pull a Kalia Copper and go to the post-game podium and complain about fans booing. It's a part of the game. Caitlin Clark didn't pull an Angel Reese and get a whole fake racism investigation started because opposing fans are booing you. This is stardom. This is how you handle booing fans. You don't go get a fake investigation started because you can't handle people booing you.
Let's circle back to Caitlin Clark for a moment, because now that the Fever have advanced, the big question is, could she actually return? Fans saw the clips of her practicing in Atlanta, even bouncing around on the sidelines, and it sure looked physically possible. And according to Scott Agnes, the issue isn't the groin anymore.
Scott Agnes, it's the groin. It's not the groin, it's the ankle. It's not the groin, it's the ankle. People saying stop lying, man. Scott Agnes is the one person that's been legit. He's the one person. regardless of what you've said, what you think about him, he is the closest thing to an insider.
Now, whether you agree or disagree with Scott after his comments about Fever fans, the truth is he's well connected with the team, and he doesn't put anything out there that isn't basically cleared by them. So we can treat this as solid info. And that's great news, because if Caitlin's groin is healed enough to play, she'll be back at full strength by the start of next season at the very latest. And with the way this team is trending, there's no reason to think they can't make a finals run. Remember, they've already taken down the Aces twice this year.
You actually just referenced it twice. It is Indiana. Dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the real Aces yet. They caught us when we were a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us.
Sure, Becky Hammond might say the Fever haven't seen the best version of her team, but this is the playoffs. Anything can happen. Underdogs have won titles before, and if the Fever somehow make the finals, that would give Caitlin just enough time to ramp up, setting up what could have been the perfect Michael Jordan sophomore arc. Remember, MJ missed most of his second season with a broken foot, only to come back in the playoffs and drop a still-standing NBA record of 63 points on the 86 Celtics. Caitlin has already shown she can bounce back from injury and take over. You only need to think of that Liberty game where she scored 9 points in 38 seconds, raining threes from deep. And honestly, the whole league should want her back. Ratings have been flat, and Caitlin is the one player who can light them up. Her return could draw 4 million viewers easily. That's the kind of momentum the WNBA needs when it's pushing for bigger TV money. And as Breanna Stewart said, trying to reward the pioneers who built the league. But here's the cold reality. The Fever ruled her out. She's off the playoff roster, and once you're off, you're out. That means no surprise comeback, no fairy tale ending this season. Why? Maybe the Fever never thought they'd get this far. Maybe they were just being cautious. Whatever the case, they've locked Caitlin out of 2025 action. And that stings, because I believe she could have gutted it out. Superstars have always played hurt in the playoffs. Still, if you're a Caitlin fan, you've got to love the fight this team has shown. It sets the stage for something bigger next year. And if Caitlin laces up those black Air Force Ones again, and with a little help from that lucky corgi, the Fever could just be this league's Cinderella story. The heart is there. Now it's up to the basketball gods to decide how far the magic goes. If you made it this far, drop a W in the comments and hit subscribe. You're the real MVP for sticking around. Thanks for watching.